It was 120 BCE, and Mithridates' father, the ruler of Pontus, had been poisoned by enemies. Afraid that his mother might poison him to take the throne, Mithridates went into hiding. When he came back, he devoted himself to building up his resistance to poison, reportedly taking tiny amounts of different toxins each day. He lived into his 70s and chose to die by sword, avoiding capture. No substance has perhaps been as steady an ally to sneaky plotting as arsenic, the so-called king of poisons. It's a naturally found, widely spread metallic element. In its chemically pure form, it is not much of a threat because our bodies do not absorb it well. It is when arsenic combines with other elements that things become dangerous. When arsenic reacts with oxygen, it can take its most common poisonous form. White arsenic, a powder that can be deadly right away or kill over time. At the molecular level, white arsenic looks like phosphate, which is essential to the body's basic cell reactions. When white arsenic enters the body, it takes the place of phosphates, damaging critical processes like the production of energy in cells. The symptoms of arsenic poisoning overlap with common illnesses in history, and white arsenic is quietly odorless and tasteless. These features made it a favored murder weapon. In ancient Egypt and Greece, people came across arsenic while mining and melting metals and came to understand its power. The first recorded making of white arsenic is credited to Islamic Golden Age alchemist Jabir ibn Hayyan around the 8th century. Poisoning became common in Renaissance Italy, where elites like the Venetian Council of Ten decided who to assassinate and hired alchemists, pharmacists, and doctors to prepare the right poison. The House of Borgia mastered this deadly art, reportedly using an arsenic-laced powder called cantarella that they would sprinkle into special guests' goblets. And during French King Louis XIV's reign, arsenic spread widely among Parisian high society, earning it the nickname of inheritance powder. In 1675, the 5-year affair of the poisons began with a noblewoman confessing to murdering her father and brothers, and revealing that Paris hid a large underground network of poison sellers. One of its central figures was Catherine Monvoisin. In addition to performing fortune-telling and black masses, she made so-called love potions, as well as even more terrible mixtures containing aconite, belladonna, and arsenic. One of her clients was a member of the royal court whose husband died under mysterious circumstances. Another was the king's very own mistress. Arsenic became a more common weapon during the Industrial Revolution. Demand for metals like iron shot up, and as people melted impure ores in furnaces, some byproducts rose into the air and built up on chimneys, including white arsenic. The powder was scraped off in large amounts and sold cheaply to city dwellers, who used its power against pests and, sometimes, people. Arsenic also found its way into common goods. In 1775, Swedish chemist Carl Wilhelm Scheele created a copper-arsenic mixture that produced a brilliant green color. Scheele's green soon colored paint, textiles, toys, soaps, cosmetics, and food coloring. By the late 1800s, 80% of English wallpaper contained arsenic, but its deadly danger remained. Several children were said to have died from accidentally swallowing arsenic, and a public campaign finally had it banned from households. Meanwhile, deliberate arsenic poisoning continued, and because forensic arsenic tests were still basic, people kept getting away with it. In 1832, chemist James Marsh consulted on a murder case where a man was accused of mixing arsenic into his grandfather's coffee. Marsh ran the standard test, which produced a yellowish deposit, confirming the sample was positive for arsenic. But the result was chemically unstable, and by the time Marsh presented it in court, the color had faded, and the jury cleared the accused. So, Marsh created a new test, in which an arsenic-containing sample would react with zinc and acid to produce arsine gas. Once lit, it would reveal a solid arsenic deposit. It was the first truly reliable arsenic test. Newer tests later took its place, and antidotes became available. But history remains marked with arsenic's twisted power. sprinkled with scandal and dashed with deceit.